Welcome to the Word for 2021. Today we're in Joshua chapter 15. In verse 14 we read, "From Hebron, Caleb drove out the three Anakites, Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak." These were three specific giants that were defeated by Caleb. In the scriptures, names are important because they not just tell a person's name, but they tell about his character. There is meaning behind a person's name. And these three giants that Caleb defeated, they have a meaning behind their name. The first, Sheshai, literally means who I am. It talks about his ego. Not only probably was he great size, but his ego was huge as well. The second was Ahiman. That means what I am. He was very prideful. Everything about him exuded the idea that no one else was like him. And then the third was Talmai, what I can do. This talked about the fact that he was probably of great strength and self-sufficiency too. These giants were of great unusual size. They were intimidating. They were overwhelming, and they were unbeatable. We read about the descendants of Anak in Deuteronomy chapter 9. Who can stand against the Anakites? Whenever anyone would come up against a giant, fear instilled. In Numbers chapter 13, when the 12 spies went into the promised land and they came back and gave a report, they said that yes, there are giants in the land, and we are like grasshoppers in our own eyes and in theirs. As we read of other giants that were in the land, we read about Og. His bed was made of iron. It was 13 feet long and it was 6 feet wide. And then when we hear about Goliath from Gath, he was over 9 feet tall. These were physical giants, again, intimidating, overwhelming, seemingly unbeatable. But Caleb had faith, and he knew that God was going to give them into his hand. So he said, with the Lord's help, they will fall. And they did. We do not face giants like Caleb did. The giants that we face today are spiritual. But as you take a look at these three names and what was synonymous with them, we face the same kind of giants today. They can seem intimidating, overwhelming, and unbeatable. Ego, pride, and self-sufficiency. They rise up within us and we can feel as though we will never defeat them. These are internal giants. But the truth is that we will never be successful with external giants until we are able to defeat our internal giants. What is the key? Caleb gave us the key. He said that he was not fighting in his own strength, but he was fighting in the strength of the Lord. If God is with me, give me that mountain. God will make me victorious. So the key was that Caleb was not fighting in his own strength, and we do not fight in our strength either. Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 and 11 tell us this: "Be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." The devil is overwhelming. He can be intimidating and seemingly unbeatable, but in the Lord's strength, nothing is impossible. In our strength, we are helpless, but when we depend upon the Lord's strength, we have all the power of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. In Philippians 4:13 we read, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." Just like Caleb was a giant killer, God can make you and I giant killers too. Thank you for joining the Word for 2021.